Great applause.
All right, so I have a different background than most of you here. I was born and raised in California, went to med school in California at UC Irvine. I'll share a little bit about my background so that, if anyone out here is interested in any, part of my path, please feel free and reach out. So yeah, UC Irvine for medical school, then I went to Stanford for residency, did the research track there, had NIH funding. So if you're into research and you want to talk about that, definitely feel free to reach out to me as well. So my path is different, obviously, right? But I feel very strongly about you guys being here and, being able to serve the patients, the population in the United States. Why is that? Well, first off, a little bit about my background. My parents are from Nicaragua, even though I was born in California. I'm bicultural, right? We grow up with the culture at home, and then you have the culture that you have once you exit the home and are in school and, are part of all these institutions. So we, 1 out of every 7 people, I don't know if you guys, you can Google the statistics, 1 out of every 7 people right now, probably more, are foreign born, right? And medicine is a social science. You are interfacing directly with people. We all probably have seen how regional medicine can be, from anything from the illnesses that you see in a specific area to how you approach the patient. How do you talk to the patient can vary from region to region, right? So we need medical doctors that represent the people that are already here in the country. And this is a country that's multicultural, and we need that represented in the medical force. And I feel very strongly about that based on, my experiences growing up and not having physicians that understood my culture or even spoke the language. And I was a 5-year-old and, I was trying to, interface with the nurses and the doctors and my parents. I mean, it was crazy, right? So young, right? So that's why I feel very strongly. And that is the reason why, you should be very motivated and not feel out of place when applying to residency programs. So one of the things that I experienced when I went to residency was this thing called imposter syndrome. And I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but basically it's like, like you don't deserve to be there, or it's weird, like, did I somehow sneak in? And of course I worked really hard to get to residency, and yet I felt, that way. So what I want to say is you belong, right? So if, there's been multiple messages being given here today. One of the messages I wanted to give you is that as, someone that was raised here, I appreciate physicians that come from a different background, and that you absolutely belong. And you definitely have to approach that, with that kind of mentality whenever you're applying. That was pretty much kind of my message. I'm going to keep it short, but just want to give that encouragement because I think that your mindset goes a very long way when you're applying, when you're interviewing. Obviously, we're all grateful for the opportunities that we're given, but also just know that you have a lot to offer. I have a lot to offer what your future patients. You have a lot to offer your residency class. One of the coolest things in medical school was just seeing people from all over parts of the country and even parts of the world. And that absolutely enriched my education professionally as well as personally. So that is something that you add to the residency program. The more unique your background is, if you can angle it in that way, that is absolutely a plus for the residency class. All the clinical experience you have in different settings, that adds, to the quality of the clinical care wherever you will be. So walk in there confident. You absolutely deserve to be here. We all deserve to be here. We've all worked really hard. We're all grateful, but definitely have that attitude. Be enthusiastic. This is, good things are coming for you and your future patients. Always remember that. That's what we're here for, to be able to care others, and that's a very humble thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Monterrey.